process. I cannot say process for my life. What the heck? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be reviewing the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. I actually tried to review this about a week and a half ago, but I was really sick and I just didn't feel like it would be a fair review because at the end of the day the foundation just wasn't looking good, and I feel like a lot of that was because I was sick. So today we're going to be redoing everything, but since this video isn't a first impression and I have used the foundation quite a bit since then, this video is going to be a little bit different, and instead of doing a wear test, I'm just going to tell you guys how I feel about it. I'll show you guys the application process. So yeah, let's just jump on into the application process, shall we?
Here we go.
Okay, so I already prime my skin, and I always prime my skin before I do foundation reviews, just because that's what I do normally anyway, and I don't feel like it would be fair if I didn't prime my skin and I were to judge it without priming my skin. So I did use the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer today, and then I also color corrected just a little bit because this does say that it is medium coverage. So it says it's an up to 24-hour foundation, so you get up to 24 hours of wear. It's got sunscreen in it, which is SPF 15. It has a radiant finish. It's for normal to dry skin, and it's hydrating. In the back here, the coverage is medium, and then the texture is air light. And also, if you're curious, I'm in the shade 205 Natural Beige. I picked up 204 at first, thinking that would be my color, but it's actually more pink tone. So if you're around my shade and you have a more yellow-based complexion, try 205 because this one definitely does have a yellow base. So the foundation itself runs for $12.99, and I picked mine up at Ulta. I think they sell it at other drugstores too. I know they sell it at Target for sure. I've seen it at Walgreens as well. I don't know if CVS carries it, but I'm sure they do, but I picked mine up at Ulta in particularly. Right, so now we're just going to move on to the application process. I'm going to do one side of my face with a damp beauty blender, and then I'll do the other side with a brush. I'm using the Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush for this side. So we're just going to go ahead and start to apply that to the face. I think what I'm going to do is just dot it on my face and then go from there. Oh, let me show you guys the consistency. It's pretty runny in consistency. You can see it dripping down pretty fast. So it's pretty runny. It's not super duper duper liquidy, not like the NARS All Day Luminous foundation, but it's definitely not super thick either. Dot this on the face. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my damp beauty blender. You want to make sure it's damp so that way it doesn't absorb a lot of that product, especially with runny foundations. You don't want to use a dry beauty blender if your foundation is relatively runny because then it's just going to absorb all the product. So you definitely want to make sure that it's damp. So as you can see, it's blending out really nicely. It does have a glowy and dewy finish to it. Okay, and you can also see that the coverage is really nice at first application. It's definitely a medium coverage, but I'm also going to show you guys if it's buildable. Dot a few more spots right over here where you can kind of still see my freckles a little bit. Since it isn't full coverage, you can still see my freckles. And we're just going to tap that on over. And as you can see, the foundation builds up really nicely with the beauty blender. It's more so full coverage now, so I do like that about the foundation. So now we're just going to do the right side of my face with a brush. And once again, I'm using the Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush. I really like this brush because it's at an angle, so it makes it a lot easier to get around the face, especially if you've already done your brows and you don't want to mess them up. It's a really good foundation brush because it has that angle. So I'm just going to start to blend all that out. And as you can see, it also blends out really nicely with a brush. You still get a medium coverage when you're using the brush, so it's really no different from the beauty blender. And then I'm also going to show you guys how this builds up with a brush. So as you can see, it does build up really nicely with the brush as well. You could really use either or, you're still going to get the same coverage. It definitely doesn't feel cakey or heavy on the face. It still feels air light. So that's one of the things that I really like about the foundation is that even though you build it up, it still feels light and airy on the skin. Right, I'm going to show you guys a close-up so you guys can see what everything looks like up close. So that's what this side looks like with the beauty blender. This is what this side looks like with the brush. As you can see, there was no streaking with the brush, so I feel like you could use either or. If you like beauty blenders more, you could definitely use a beauty blender and get the same results as you would get with a brush. If you like the brush more, you can definitely use the brush and get the same results as you would get with the beauty blender. I personally just like to use the beauty blender. I don't know, I just feel like it's squishy and it just feels nice, so yeah, I like to use the beauty blender with it in particularly. So now that it has been applied, I'm just going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and tell you guys my final thoughts on the foundation. Alright guys, so my makeup is all done. If you can see, let me zoom you guys in a little bit, you can see a close-up of what it looks like once my makeup's done. pretty much what it looks like. The finish is definitely very glowy. It's not super intensely dewy, but it is definitely glowy. But it's for sure not matte, and it's definitely glowy. So my final thoughts on the foundation now that I've tried it out a few times. I really do love the foundation. I think it's a great everyday foundation. Probably not a foundation that you want to wear if you're going to be out in the hot sun for a long time, or if you're going to be like at a club or somewhere where you're going to be sweating, because it is glowy and dewy. It will get a lot dewier if you're in those kind of conditions for a while. I definitely recommend this foundation if you do have dry to normal skin, just like it says on the bottle. I have pretty much dry skin, although I do get the slightest bit oily in the center of my forehead at the end of the day. So I kind of consider myself to be dry combo, but leaning more towards dry. So this foundation does work really great for me. You could always try it out if you are oily. You could use maybe like a mattifying primer, or you could set your entire face. I in particular did not set my entire face. I only set underneath my eyes and just in my laugh lines. Didn't set anywhere else because I do like the dewy, glowy finish of it. I didn't want to mattify it at all. But if you are oily and you do decide to try this foundation out and you don't want to be like a grease ball by the end of the day, I do recommend setting your entire face just so you're not super duper duper oily by the end of the day. But it is a really nice foundation. I do love the finish. On my dry skin, I love how it looks by the end of the day. So as far as finish goes on normal to dry skin, I do really love it. As far as flashback goes, this does have SPF in it, and normally when a foundation has SPF in it, you get a pretty intense flashback. With this one, since it is only SPF 15, you don't get too bad of a flashback. I'll go ahead and show you guys a photo with me using flash photography. You can see in the photo that it's not too intense or anything. It's very, very mild, and that's pretty much due to it only being an SPF 15. I would say anything under SPF 15 to 13, you're going to be pretty safe when it comes to flashback. Anything above that, you're going to get a super intense flashback in my experience. But other than that, I do really love the foundation. I love it for everyday wear. So if you have a similar skin type to mine, this is definitely a great foundation to try out if you're in the market for a new one. So that's going to be it for this video. I really hope this review was helpful for you. I know when I'm looking into a foundation, I always look for the reviews to see what it's like and to see what other people think about it. I really hope that I've helped you out today. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel too if you're not already. I would really love for you to join my YouTube family. You can just click right here on me if you're on your desktop, or click the subscribe button down below. Also leave me in the comment section any product reviews that you guys would like to see, or any video requests you guys have. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I hope to see you in my next video.